punk revolution. Hey everybody, this is part 2 of my video on how to get into hardcore punk. If you haven't watched the first part, go ahead and click on it and watch it. I'm going to put it in the freaking description, so for those of you who haven't freaking seen it. So yeah, in part 1, I went over 4 essential hardcore punk albums that you have to listen to, that if you want to get into hardcore, you absolutely have to freaking listen to. In this video, I'm going to be diving a little bit deeper into subgenres of hardcore. We're going to be talking about freaking, here are just some of the freaking subgenres of hardcore. There's a freaking ton, but these are the 6 we're going to be talking about in this video. Metalcore, crust punk, anarcho punk, Dee Beats, Grindcore, and Emo Violence. Those are just some, that's just to give you a taste of how deep and how dark the freaking subgenres of hardcore punk can go. So yeah, let's freaking go. I mean, these are some of my favorite albums of all time. Really hard to pick 6, but you know what, I'm picking 6. 6 seems like a clean number, and we're just gonna freaking roll with it, and hopefully you can branch out and find more punk that works with you from, listening in to these albums. So we're gonna start with freaking metalcore. We're gonna start with freaking metalcore, and that is going to be, of course, Converge's Jane Doe. Let's look at the freaking album cover. You heard me right. I said metalcore. But punk revolution now, isn't metalcore a subgenre of metal? No, it's not. It's a fucking subgenre of punk. Get your shit together. It just has, it only has the word metal in there because it borrows the influence of metal in it, but it's fundamentally punk. Anyways, metalcore, I think a lot of people hear metalcore and they automatically are turned off. They think it's a horrible subgenre, but hopefully if you listen to Converge's album Jane Doe by Converge, it'll show you how technically impressive and fantastic of fucking amazing this album is, and will demonstrate to you the actually how complex metalcore and hardcore punk in general can get. So that's freaking metalcore. Another awesome subgenre of punk is freaking crust punk, and I'm going to be talking about Amebix classic album Arise, a freaking crust punk classic. Let's take a look at the album cover. I fucking love this album. This is a crust punk classic. If you want to check out crust punk, go check this album out for sure. It's going to be dealing with themes of mental illness, very dark. It's going to be dealing with themes of politics and revolution. Ooh, politics and revolution and punk. Seems like a recurring theme. Does that ring a bell? Punk revolution now, maybe? Okay, anyways, I love this album. This album also has some influence of post-punk in it, so if you like post-punk but you don't like hardcore punk, maybe you should check this one out, and it's going to help you bridge the gap. I don't know. Alright, so the next album I'm going to be talking about is Napalm Death's classic freaking album, Scum, a grindcore album. Let's take a look at the album cover. Napalm Death's Scum is a freaking classic grindcore album. One of the first grindcore albums. This came out in 1987. So freaking grindcore. What the hell is grindcore? Well, when I first listened to grindcore, I wasn't sure if I was listening to metal or punk. It's just so freaking abrasive. But no, it's fucking punk. It's really, really fucking hardcore punk with a lot of extreme metal influence. So yeah, I mean, this album fucking kicks ass. Really abrasive, really against the system, really fucking political, really fucking revolutionary. So yeah, if the softer side of punk isn't doing it for you, maybe diving into the more abrasive stuff like Napalm Death's Scum will fucking do it, because sometimes you gotta just do it. Fuck the people who say to start with the soft stuff and get hard. No, let's get fucking hard, and then we'll get fucking soft. So yeah, that's fucking grindcore. Next subgenre we're gonna be talking about is freaking Emo Violence, and we're gonna be talking about the freaking classic Emo Violence, one of my favorite records of all time, Orchid's Chaos Is Me. Let's take a look at the fucking album cover. So yeah, Orchid's Chaos Is Me. What a fucking amazing album. I love this album so much. So first off, what the hell is Emo Violence? The subgenre Emo Violence? Emo Violence is when you combine the subgenres Power Violence and Screamo. So Power Violence is like an extremely dissonant, chaotic subgenre of hardcore punk. It's fucking amazing. Go check out the band Siege and fucking Dropdead. I'll put them in the description. I don't have time to talk about them anymore. I only said 6, so I have to stick with 6, I guess. Fuck me. So yeah, so it's combining some really dissonant shit with some fucking emo and Screamo. So it's gonna be super dissonant, but it's gonna be super emotional. It's gonna be so beautiful. It's gonna be a beautiful chaos. Go listen to this freaking beautiful album. It's so fucking beautiful. I love Orchid. Okay, so that's freaking Emo Violence and a little bit of Power Violence too. Woo, 2 subgenres. Okay, the next subgenre we are going to be talking about is going to be Anarcho Punk, and that is nothing other than the freaking classic freaking Crass's album, The Feeding of 5,000. Woo, this album came out in 1978. 1978, that's freaking early as hell hardcore punk, a freaking hardcore punk classic. Let's take a look at the album cover. So yes, this is Anarcho Punk, which you guessed it is gonna have themes of anarchy in it, freaking revolution. I freaking love Anarcho Punk, as you could probably guess. Freaking Crass's album, The Feeding of 5,000, is a classic, essential Anarcho Punk album, fucking amazing, very sloppy, very loose and crazy. I mean, the first song, Do They Owe Us a Living? Do They Owe Us a Living? So fucking revolutionary, so I don't give a shit in your face, which is fucking awesome. Anarcho Punk shares a lot of similarities to Crust Punk and Dee Beats. Ooh, Dee Beat, I haven't talked about that yet. Let's talk about Dee Beat. Dee Beat is going to be Discharge's album, Hear Nothing, Say Nothing. Let's take a look at the album cover. Wow, this album is so fucking influential and so fucking awesome. I'm stupid. I should have put this freaking way at the beginning of the video. This is like so important. This album came out in 1982 and it played a big role. So this is Dee Beats, but it played a huge role in influencing genres like crust punk and anarcho punk and grindcore and a ton of other subgenres. Freaking Discharges, Hear Nothing, Say Nothing, a classic, extremely important punk album. Super political, super aggressive, super in your face, super just fucking blurted out, very atonal at times. Fucking wonderful. So yeah, those are basically some essentials of hardcore punk in essential genres. Like I said, we went over a lot of genres: anarcho punk, crust punk, Dee Beats. Sometimes these genres can be very hard to tell the difference. I mean, let's take a look at the freaking Wikipedia page definitions of some of these fucking genres. So yeah, what you can basically see here is Wikipedia is using basically the same definition over and over again for these different genres. They're basically just saying they're all just some sort of combination of hardcore and metal, which is fundamentally kind of true. But point is, these genres can be a little bit difficult to tell the difference from when you first start listening to them. Even the Wikipedia definitions are very similar. But once you start listening to them enough, you can definitely parse out the differences. And I freaking love these albums. I hope you guys check them out. Hope you guys start exploring these genres a little bit more. They are fantastic. There are some genres I want to shout out real quick that I did not get to put in this video, but you should explore too. They include emo core, crossover thrash, thrashcore, more power violence. I mentioned power violence a little bit, but then you should check out more. And freaking post-hardcore, which deserves its own video. Maybe I'll do that video next. Who freaking knows? Post-hardcore needs its own video too. Thanks so much for freaking watching. Thanks. It makes my heart grow so big knowing that you guys are watching these videos and liking and subscribing. It makes my day so much. So thank you for watching Punk Revolution now!